Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm glad you decided to paint along with me today in our first ever free class. This is what we'll be painting. The cherry blossoms with a little kitty on the swing. But let me tell you what you're going to need to paint along with us today. Paint, obviously. I use Apple Barrel brand acrylic paint. I use the matte finish, not the gloss finish. If you want to use the gloss finish, you can. So I used 7 basic colors. I have bright red, bright yellow, nutmeg, which is a brown, Christmas green, white, black, and true navy. But if you want to use a different brand, different varieties, you can, just as long as you have brown, red, yellow, green, blue, black, and white. Those are all the colors that we use today. You'll also need brushes. There. I used 5 different brushes today. You'll need a flat brush, a large flat brush, soft bristle. I've got a synthetic one for the background. You'll need a chip brush or some kind of larger, stiff, coarse bristled brush. This one's a hog hair bristle, the 1-inch brush. And then you'll need a smaller one. This is also hog hair. A big one and a small one is basically all you need. They don't have to be the exact same size that I have. That's fine. And then a soft bristled, this is camel hair, flat brush, kind of a mid-sized one. It's not huge, but it's not tiny either. We'll use this one a little bit today on the tree. And then a detail brush. You can have a variety of detail brushes, but I used one single detail brush through the whole painting today. This is a number 2 detail brush. This is also camel hair, but synthetic works just fine. So that's all you really need to paint along today. I hope you enjoy painting along with me today, and I'm really glad that you decided to join us. Let's get started. Start off, we're going to fill our canvas with our background color. And for that, we're going to use a large, flat, soft bristle brush. This is synthetic. And we're going to mix up some blue and some green on our plate. Make sure you mix yourself up quite a bit of paint. We want to have enough to cover our canvas. It's nice to have enough from the get-go and not have to mix more when you're halfway through it. So now if you want this really, like a really turquoise color, a real teal color, you can do maybe even a little more green than blue or equal green and blue. If you want it to be a lot more blue, keep more blue in it than green. I just like kind of a bluish green color, but I do like to tend more toward the blue than the green. And then in a separate spot on the plate, I'm going to put a pile of white. Now, I don't have it touching the other colors. I'm going to mix these together and see what I have first. Make sure it's the right color, because as you mix, you may see that you need to adjust a little bit in your amount of blue or green, which I'm going to need more blue than this. I put too much green in there for what I like. So I'm going to add some more blue to mine. I'm just going to mix it all up. You know, maybe just a little bit more blue. This is why I like these big bottles of paint, because you can really mix up a lot of paint with them. Get a lot of paintings out of it. All right, I like that color. All right, Now what we're gonna do is our background, we want it to be a little lighter up here and darker down here. And we're gonna use a diagonal stroke to apply this. So I'm gonna start in the bottom corner here, and I'm going to start brushing this on. And one thing I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna run my brush right along the bottom of my canvas. I like to fill in this bottom part because there's a lip on my easel, and if I don't really get the brush under there, what happens is when I take the canvas off of the easel, it leaves a big white blank spot right there, and I don't like the way that looks. So make sure you cover your whole canvas. All right. We're going to put in these diagonal stroke. Now once you've got a nice dark corner in here, what you can do is you can take a little tips of the bristles in the white paint and just streak some of that through there. We want to keep this dark. We don't want to put a whole bunch in. We want to keep it dark, but we're just adding a little bit of variety to it, a little bit of interest to it. I'm going to add some more white again. Tap into the white. I'm going to add a little more this time than I did the last time. You don't have to over blend this. You don't have to really go over it and over it. You can if you want to, but the more you blend, the less streaky it's going to look. It's going to end up more one color. So I try not to, if I want a streaky look, I try not to overblend too much. And as long as the paint is still wet, you can continue to, you can go back over the wet sections that you've already been on. But once those start drying, I wouldn't go into those anymore, because then you end up with really spotty looking sections where the paint doesn't blend well. It just kind of skates over the canvas, and it ends up looking like this, what you get along the edge here. So once your paint is dry, don't try and blend over top or in it, because it's not going to blend. It's dry, and that's that. You're done. Okay, now I've dipped into more of the white, and I'm going to start lightening this. By lightening this, I mean I'm going to take less green, more white, or blue or green, whatever color you got. Still using the same diagonal stroke. And if you come up here and you end up with too much of the dark color on your brush, just go into straight white and put that over top of it. So let's say I went too dark there, I would just go straight white and then blend it right in. Just take this, oops, I just spattered white paint all over. It happens. So there we go. I've got a nice background, and if you stuck your finger in the paint down there like I did, make sure you paint over that. If it's not as streaky as you want, or not as dark as you want, as long as this is still wet, you can still mess with this. So I could take straight into the dark color and put some of that there. Or if I don't have enough white down here, I go straight into the white and put some more streaks in there. So as long as this is still wet, you can still play with it. But once it starts drying or gets tacky, leave it alone. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry, and I'll see you in the next video when we work on our tree. If you want to continue doing paintings with me, hit that subscribe button and you can keep up with me.